You know, they say that practice makes perfect, and I really believe in that. And the selling practice in a PowerSim from W/ provides an amazing amount of practice for increasing sales. I'm about to map out a simple simulation that's designed to help learners differentiate between two similar products. The end result? That they confidently make the right recommendation in a real sales situation. Learners actually have the chance to go through this simulation as many as 8 times, and they'll learn something new and valuable every time. As I map out this process, consider the anemic nature of a typical multiple choice assessment and compare it to allowing learners to internalize knowledge by applying it in a safe practice environment and getting insightful feedback on every choice they make. Take a look. So let's talk about how we put a model together for a PowerSim. A single simulation with just 2 products presents to the learner 40 options or points of view, 14 learner inputs or decisions, 16 different expressions of customer preference, and 8 demonstrated sales coaching tips. And keep in mind, if you have a product line that requires 2 or 3 different scenarios, then you're going to double or triple those numbers. Okay, so as we map out this avatar-driven 2-product PowerSim, it's going to start like any sim does, or any selling situation does. We're going to match up a customer and a salesperson, and there's going to be some sort of quick greeting, a little bit of a get to know you. And I can let you know right now that the orange boxes signify that those are avatar demonstrations. The next step then, of course, is asking the standard questions that help qualify a customer. And every industry has their standard questions. And I'll tell you by the gray boxes that those are not acted out by an avatar. Those are read on the screen and selected by the learner so that in any order or any amount of questions that they want to ask, they'll get what you see in the orange as a customer avatar giving them feedback. So whenever they've gone through the questions to the point where they feel like they can make a good recommendation for a product, that's the next step. And remember, this is a simulation where we're really comparing or differentiating 2 different products so that the learner gets practice understanding what situation is right for recommending each one. So you see right now we've got 2 different possible recommendations. There might be 10 or 12 products, but by the qualification process, there's only going to be a couple of different products that really make sense. So if they don't select one of those, they're going to get routed back to thinking more about the questions or re-asking the questions. However they need to get to it to recommend a reasonable solution to the problem. And again, as with any kind of sales situation, once you've made a recommendation, you can pretty well expect that a customer is going to have some sort of objection or have some other request for new information. In this way that the PowerSim is designed, there's a couple of different, for each recommendation, a couple of different objections, and those will come up randomly depending on how many times you go through the scenarios. But of course then the next piece would be that the salesperson has to come up with a way to handle that objection, and from that the customer is going to make some kind of buying decision, a positive, a negative. Maybe they're confused, maybe they decide not to buy this week, but whatever their decision is, then our sales avatar is going to come back on and give us some good coaching for the learner that really caps off that particular pass through. Now, we don't have to do all the qualifying again, but remember I said there's 8 different ways a learner can go through here. So the next way would be simply coming up with another way to handle the customer objection. And they may not have, in fact, they may not have the same customer objection because it's random, but for each objection there's going to be a couple different ways to handle it, a couple of different outcomes with a customer, and two different ways that the sales avatar is going to coach the learner. And that's going to happen again for the second recommendation. For the second objection, they're going to go through one of two different ways to handle the objection and two different responses from the customer. And the whole thing plays out so that you've got two products that are possible to recommend. These are the ones that we want to create some differentiation between, some clarity, so that the learner really knows how to recommend the right product for the right situation. We got 4 different possible customer objections, which means they've got 8 chances to come up with some kind of response to an objection. There's going to be 8 different customer responses then back that are anywhere from a "I'm really sold" to "I'm walking out the door." And for every customer response, there's going to be coaching happening from the sales avatar. So you can see that there's just a ton of value every time that the learner goes through this scenario. Each of the 8 times, they're going to learn something new. And by the time they're done, they're really going to have it straight in their heads when to recommend which product and how to handle the objections. And that is, that's as much as you can hope for, that people really learn the information, learn how to apply it, and use it in a real sales situation to their success. Okay, I know that was a pretty quick run through something that can seem pretty complicated. But think about it like this. We're not just putting learners through a page-by-page course and asking them at the end to recall a bunch of product facts and some assessment. Come on, that's not learning. What we are doing is providing learners 8 ways to approach selling 2 different products. And through valuable customer interaction and insightful coaching, what they've gotten is enough practice and experience to become a confident success on the sales floor. Isn't that the outcome you're looking for?